All right, I'll call to order the Enfield Inland Wetland and Watercourse Agency regular meeting for February 3rd, 2026. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, fire evacuation. You can go outside these doors, down the stairs, and out the building, or you can go right outside these doors, out away from the building. Roll call.
Donna Corbin-Savinsky, absent. Kevin Zorda.
Here.
Virginia Higley, here. Kelly Hemler.
Here.
Dylan Bridge.
Here.
Ann Collins.
Here.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah. Thank you. Ken Kaufman.
Here.
Chris Renault.
Here.
Robert Gillespie's absent. Oh, and Chris Lataki.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, and we will seat Chris Renault. All right, public communications and petitions. I don't have any. Correspondence, I don't have any. Minutes of the preceding meetings.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 3rd.
Second.
No, not February 3rd.
No,
Sorry.
January 20th.
Looking at the wrong piece of paper.
That's right.
Of January 20th. I apologize.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anything on this side? No? All right, no discussion. All in, roll call. We have to do a roll call.
Kevin Zorda.
Turn on
Yeah.
your mic.
Oh, it is.
No,
Virginia
Jenny.
Higley.
You gotta
yes.
turn on your mic.
Kevin Zorda.
I'm gonna abstain.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Abstain.
Ann Collins. Ken Kaufman.
Abstain.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
And Chris Lataki.
Yes.
Okay. I know.
Four in favor, 3 abstain. The motion passes. We have a town attorney's report for January 27th, 2026. Any discussion, questions? All right, we have no continued public hearings, and we have a new public hearing, IW number 723, 226 Brainerd Road, application for a map amendment to remove the wetland delineation on the property, William and Carolyn Herbert, applicant owner, map 62, lot 18, R33 zone. Do we have folks here? Come on up. All right, I will read the rules for public hearings. We realize there may be a large amount of evidence and testimony offered at this hearing. The applicant will present first, followed by staff comments and commission questions. The commission chair will then ask for public input. We also ask that both the applicants and the public not read items that have been already submitted or will be submitted in writing, but to summarize and identify for the record where we might find the detailed information. Everyone will be given additional time if needed later on. In order to move things along more efficiently tonight, we ask that anyone from the general public wishing to speak to please sign up ahead of time. If you have not done so already, there is a sign-up sheet available on the table located in front of the recording secretary. We have it right here, but I don't see anybody interested. The chairman will be calling speakers from the sign-up sheet first and then opening it up to the general public. If at all possible, we also ask that you try to keep your remarks under 5 minutes so that those that wish to speak will have the opportunity to do so within the time we have allotted for this hearing. It would be appreciated if you would not repeat any points already made, but instead indicate your support for a particular point of testimony. The commission is bound by the criteria of its regulations. Please try to keep your comments on the application focused on the criteria that we must consider. If you have submitted written comments, there is no need to repeat them or read them out loud. Those are just as much part of the record as the verbal testimony that we hear and will be given equal consideration in our deliberations. Please keep in mind also that this is a formal hearing and that applause or other comments from the audience are not appropriate and do a disservice to those that have the floor. The rules of the hearing require that there be no direct debate between audience members and the parties. Any questions or comments must be addressed through the chairman. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation in making this process as efficient and painless as possible. Thank you for listening to that. All right. You're on. Oh, yeah, motion to open the public hearing. Thank you.
I make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins.
yes,
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
All right, 7 in favor, no opposed. We have the public hearing open. Now you may go ahead.
Thank you.
do we have to say our name and address?
Yes, please, for the record.
Yes, good evening. My name is William Jackson. I'm a soil scientist in Connecticut. My office is in Berlin.
Can you move the microphone closer to you? Thank you.
And I was retained by the Herberts to inspect their property to determine whether or not there were wetlands on the property. And if I could, I prepared a report, the January 5th Property Inspection and Soils Investigation Report, which I think you have a copy of. And I'll just summarize that quickly. May I see the site plan? So the property, the 0.4 acre property is shown on the September 23rd, 2024 proposed garage plan. It shows the meets and bounds of the property, the location of the home, and the topography on the property. And the north is on the right side of the property. Brainerd Road is on the north side of the property. And the property slopes in a southerly direction, and in the southern part of the property, right adjacent to a swale, is a swale that's adjacent to the easement for Eversource Utility. And I conducted hand auger borings within that swale area. I think you have the boring locations on a sheet. Is that correct? So you can see where the borings were in the low part of the property. The dominant soil mapping unit on the web soil survey is the Windsor Urban Land Complex, which is a very excessively drained soil unit. And I found that the soils in the lower part of the property were Udorthense fill materials, sandy granular fill materials, consistent with that soil mapping unit. And so the wetland line for the town map is shown on the property itself, sort of bracketing that swale area. And so since there are no wetlands detected on the property, the Herberts have asked about amending the map to show their property outside of the wetlands. The Herberts contacted Eversource to ask permission to do additional investigation south of their property to determine how close the wetland boundary might be. Eversource did not grant permission to enter their property. However, they did furnish a wetland map showing wetlands that they had delineated. I believe they were delineated by a soil scientist from Malone and McBroom. And So that map in the 8.5 by 11 version that you have, the approximate scale on that map is 1 inch equals 200 feet. And the map shows an aerial photograph with the utility easement, and there's green shaded areas where Eversource recognizes wetlands within the utility easement. The nearest wetland to the map shows the Hebert property outlined in red. The nearest wetland boundary to the Hebert property is approximately 350 feet further south from their southern property boundary. And the soils investigation that I conducted in November 3rd, rather, and the information from Eversource gives pretty good evidence that the wetlands do not extend to the Hebert's property, and so they are petitioning to revise amend the map, if you will, to show their property outside of the upland review area, as well as a wetland boundary.
Thank you. All right, any questions from this side? Anybody? Ken? Nope. Anything on this side? All right. Anybody in the audience that would like to speak that has not, since we have nobody signed up? No?
No.
Okay. All right.
Will you be recording the changed map on the land records?
Yes, that is a part of the process. So, assuming that they receive approval, they will have to submit a new site plan to us showing that the wetland has been removed from that site plan, which I would then file with town clerk to get it on the land records.
Thank you.
Does staff have anything additional that they want to add to this?
Just to quickly read off my memo, this is an application for a map amendment to the Town of Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourses map for property known as 226 Brainerd Road, map 62, lot 18. The town's wetlands map shows one wetland area on the parcel located in the center of the property and crosses the western and southern boundaries of the subject property. The applicant's delineation proposal report suggests a decrease of all wetlands that are on the subject property. In the past, this property had received a previous approval under Inland Wetlands 709 for a detached garage, as shown on the attached site plan. The wetlands delineation that was used on the application was taken from the town's official's wetlands GIS map, and the property was developed in 1956, prior to the establishment of the town's wetlands regulations. And as the applicant has already explained, they had a soil scientist, William A. Jackson, go out on November 3rd of 2025 to conduct a wetlands test with a by hand and auger. And the wetland soils consist of eudorthant soils, which contain of sandy loam soils, which are consistent with the Windsor Urban Land Complex. These soils are classified as excessively strained and follow typical soils in suburban land development. This is consistent with some of the soils that are also found on the Web Soil Survey. This suggests there are more eudorthant soils than when the survey was originally conducted. And there are no additional comments from planning and zoning staff or engineering.
Thank you. Yeah, motion to close, yep.
I'd like to do a motion to close the public hearing. Oh, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
May I ask a question? I wonder if you can explain, you were explaining that the steps to amend the town map, the town resource map, and you indicated that. Did you indicate that the site plan needed to be revised?
Yes. So as a part of the final approval, we'll need a copy of the site plan showing that the wetland's been removed from the site plan and submitted to our office.
You're talking about the September 23rd, 2024 proposed garage plan?
That is correct.
Okay, yeah, okay. So the land surveyor needs to amend his map, resubmit it, and then the town will amend their wetlands map.
That is correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Any discussion? No, roll call?
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins.
Yes.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
I have 7 in favor, no opposed. The public hearing is closed,
Should I do the motion to?
and you can.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Town of Enfield Inlands, Wetlands, and Watercourse map as petitioned under IW 723-226 Brainerd Road, application for map amendment to remove the wetland delineation on the property, William and Carolyn Hebert, applicant owner, map 61, lot 18, R33 zone.
Slight correction, it's map 62.
What did I
62.
say?
You said 61.
Oh, sorry.
I'll second
Six.
that.
Herbert.
Ken second. We need to do the reasons why.
Yes,
So
yeah.
I was going to suggest the soil survey, when it was done on site, they found that there were more eudorphins soils than when the survey was originally conducted.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Any,
And there's no conditions, correct?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
any discussion? None from this end? All right. Roll call?
Kevin Zorda,
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler,
Yes.
Dylan Bridge,
Yes.
Ann Collins,
Yes.
Ken Kaufman,
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
All right, 7 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Very well presented.
This one, I do the site-specific conditions, do I do prior to start?
No,
construction?
no, just that one, and if we add any.
Okay.
All right. I wish all public hearings went that quick.
Yes. They were prepared.
Do you need a copy of this, just in case?
I'll take that out.
All right. All right, we have, moving on to old business, there is none. We have new business, IW number 724, 173 Moody Road. Application for a wetlands permit to demolish 5 buildings within the Upland Review Area. Toro Credit Company applicant owner, map 93, lot 12, I-1 zone. If you could just give us your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Timothy Kuhn. I'm a professional engineer with J.R. Russo and Associates, located in East Windsor, Connecticut. Here tonight representing the applicant owner, Toro Credit Company. And with me is a member of their site, or their contractor who they've hired to do the proposed demolition from Leading Edge Construction. The site is located at 173 Moody Road. It's approximately a 33-acre parcel on the north side of Moody Road, which is zoned industrial. There's currently, the eastern portion of the site is a wooded wetland associated with freshwater brook. There is more wetlands to the western portion of the site, and if you're looking at my exhibit here, the green is the wetland line, the pink is the property line. The area to the north is currently agricultural fields, and the area to the south along Moody Road is also open field with some gravel storage. And there's a gravel driveway that comes in off of Moody Road, which provides access to 5 existing structures on the property. And what is being proposed is simply to demolish those existing structures. They will be knocked down in place using an excavator, loaded into dumpsters and hauled off the site. Any open hole will be filled with clean material, then topsoiled and seeded to reestablish vegetation in those areas. The erosion control measures will be standard silt fence, down grading of these work areas, as well as a construction entrance to prevent tracking out into the street. There is no direct wetland disturbance. However, we are within the upland review area. There's about 12,500 feet of activity in the upland review area. And the anticipated time to completion is about a week once they get started. So it's pretty straightforward. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Question? Yeah.
Do you know the approximate time that they want to start?
That I will defer to my colleague here. Do you know when they're planning on doing this?
You just got to come up into the, do on the record. No worries. And speak just your name and address. for the
Serge Lassard. I'm the builder and in charge of the project. We've been waiting for the permit for quite some time, and I would say, as if the weather permits, as soon as the snow is off, and then we can put the fence, the silk fence, then we'll proceed.
Okay,
So springtime, I would say.
probably.
Thank
Weather
you.
Makes
depending.
sense. Oh, go ahead.
You said that there may be fill that might come in. Do you know where the fill will come from?
It would just be clean fill used to fill any hole that was left. If there may, I'm not certain, but the house up by the street may have a cellar hole that would need to be filled with clean material. It would just be clean material imported from some.
Okay. I mean, that's the big thing, is just to make sure it's
it's gonna
clean.
be clean.
All right, thank you.
Staff?
This is an application for a wetlands permit to demolish 5 buildings within the upland review area, as the applicant has already explained. The buildings will first be knocked down in place and then loaded directly into dumpsters using excavators. Upon the dumpsters being filled, they'll be removed from site. Equipment used for demolition and loading will be stored on existing gravel areas, and the entire job is anticipated to be completed within 1 week. As far as erosion and sediment controls go, they are proposing to use a construction entrance pad which will be placed on the driveway to help reduce the amount of soil leaving the property. And in terms of, they will use a silt fence to cover around the perimeters to protect any wetland areas from being potentially affected. And the proposed seeding is a Lesco contractor seeding mix, which includes a blend of perennial, intermediate, and annual ryegrass, complemented by Kentucky bluegrass and creeping red fescue. And then in terms of staff comments, engineering has had no comments, and staff comments have been addressed prior to the meeting.
Excellent, I see that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there the possibility of any, I don't know if it's in our scope or not, but like asbestos-containing materials that may be present? I think I know the houses before, like 1977. I don't know how old these buildings are. Usually have some.
Or any contaminants, for
Yeah.
that matter.
Yeah, they will follow the standard practices with the building department as far as getting the demolition permit and do whatever testing is necessary to make those determinations.
All right, thank you.
It is in our purview, but building deals with that more than we do.
But it's good to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Any other questions? Anything from this side?
I have a question
Go ahead.
for you. What they're proposing for the seating, is that good? Because you're
Oh,
our
yeah,
expert.
yeah. Let's go. It's what everybody uses. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just wanted to check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least around here. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any more site-specific conditions,
No,
or just the
so
one?
this is the one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve IW 724-173 Moody Road, application for wetlands permit to demolish 5 buildings within the upland review area, Toro Credit Company, applicant owner, map 93, lot 12, is that II?
I1.
I1 zone, with the following conditions, site-specific conditions. The 100-year flood zone shall be included on final plans, and all the standard general conditions and the start of construction.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this side? This side? All right, seeing none, roll call?
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins.
Yes.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
7 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries. Good luck on your project.
Sir. Pierre's brother? Yes, sir. I thought you were familiar.
I wish all our applicants were as
Ready?
ready as these two.
Well, these are,
Both different.
all right. Enforcement, with no more new business, enforcement report, 50 Steel Road.
Yes, Commission. So, following up from the last meeting, I had mentioned that I was going to go out Friday last week to do a site inspection as the violators at 50 Steel Road had told me that the work had been completed. You have before you the pictures of that site inspection. When I went out and looked, I saw that the trees had been cut, the ones that they had requested to cut, and the stumps are still in place. I also checked to see if that trailer had been moved, in which it's kind of hard to tell, but in that first picture, you can see off in the distance, there's like a little box-looking thing. That is the trailer that was originally within the wetland area, so that has been moved, and that violation has been corrected.
Excellent.
The only thing that was missing from my inspection when I had gone and done it was the placement of the conservation easement medallions, but that was only because I wasn't able to give them to him until I had gone and done the site inspection. So with that all being said, they have met all other conditions of approval, They have met all of the other requirements of the violation. I would like to request that we can close the cease and desist order, and I will just follow up with one more site inspection to just visually confirm that the medallions have been put in place.
So just quick question, this last picture on the back page here, I know you're not an arborist, but is this tree safe? It doesn't look it.
So that tree that you're referring to, that is the tree that was hanging over the waters you can see in the background, and it was hanging over the fences.
Yeah.
They cut off the half of the tree that they had determined was, more in danger, that was going to be
Okay.
more of a liability. And they had done a great job, from what I can tell, in preserving the rest of the tree.
Okay. But it's not in danger of harming anything really other than the fence at this point?
From what I had noticed, this was not hanging over any fences. This was not hanging over any other property lines. So this tree, if it were to fall, from what I noticed, it'll just fall back into the conservation easement and the wetland.
Good. All right. As long as it's safe. Okay. Excellent. Any questions? Questions on this side? You want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to close the cease and desist for 50 Steel Road.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call?
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins.
Yes.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
7 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries, and the cease and desist can be lifted. All right. Planning staff report.
Just one more follow-up from the prior meeting. So I had mentioned that the Connecticut Association of Wetland Scientists was going to have their annual meeting on March 4th of 2026. This is an announcement that the registration has officially opened for that. To attend, I believe it's $120 if you are a member, $150 if you're a non-member. If you guys would like to attend this meeting, please let our office know, and we'll see if we have money in the budget to be able to send you to the Connecticut Association of Wetland Scientists annual meeting.
Kakiwick.
This isn't Kakiwick.
Oh,
This
that's
is separate
not?
from Kakiwick. No.
Oh, okay.
We just had that.
Oh, I was going to say, didn't we? Okay.
This is the one at the AquaTurf.
Very similar
Oh,
This is the one at the AquaTurf.
Okay, all right.
during the day.
So I would recommend, especially new folks, if you haven't been to any of these, it's good to go to these to just see how other, interact with other towns and their wetland agents and the wetland scientists. Usually there's a lot of good information. So if you're able to go, it's certainly a good idea. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that is it.
Excellent. No applications to be received? Any on the works?
There is one in the works. It just hasn't come in yet.
Okay, excellent. All right. Any miscellaneous? Anything? What about it?
They don't work.
Oh, well, that not necessarily their fault. That's the software, not the software, but the site. So that is coming. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I've never seen Jenny's fingers move so fast.
Motion.
Time
I don't mess
is
around.
7:32.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mess around.
7:32.